Hello, and welcome back to my channel. I just got done editing the video you're about to watch when I realized that I didn't film an intro. So here we are. Welcome to my channel. I'm so happy you decided to click on this video. Today I'm gonna be showing you a vlog of some of my 5-star predictions from my last video, 2 videos ago. So I hope you have had a day. Just today, it is currently Sunday the 5th, and I just posted my 5-star predictions video. So I thought I would do a fun vlog along with it. I haven't done a vlog in a while, so here we go. So I'm currently in Raleigh. I flew down here last night for work, and I was supposed to work from Raleigh to Philly and then go to Fort Myers and then back to Philly, and then I was done with my trip. But we got to the airport this morning in Raleigh and our flight was delayed, and then it just kept getting delayed, and it's delayed now until 9:35 tonight. So needless to say, we don't have to go to Fort Myers anymore, which is nice, but we're not getting home till about 11 p.m. It's really loud. It's because we're near the airport, so there's like planes taking off. But we ended up getting a day room, so we don't have to sit in the airport for like 9 hours, so that's nice. So gonna take a nap probably, but this gives me so much time to read my current book, which is The Golden Spoon. I don't have the cover because I never bring those with me when I'm reading a book, but so far I'm about halfway through. Not a ton has happened. We haven't gotten to any sort of like murder yet. So far, it's just a lot of people working in this baking competition, and I guess I should explain what this book is about. Because if you didn't watch that video, you might not have any clue. It's basically the Great British Bake Off, but in Vermont. And the host, who has hosted it for 10 seasons, the network has made her have a co-host this time, and she's not happy about it. He's sort of like a Gordon Ramsay type, so like not super warm and kind, or Paul Hollywood. Let's go with that because that's actually the Great British Bake Off. But the contestants are, we get like kind of a good introduction to all of them, and then someone's gonna be murdered. So that hasn't happened yet. We are currently just still getting to know the characters. We found out that one of the characters has kind of a past connection to the host, and this all takes place also at her family's like big huge manor, and she comes from wealth, and this is where she grew up. And so we find out that one of the contestants in the Bake Off has a history with that woman, and then also just in general the manor. So it's pretty good so far. I'm hoping to finish this today now that I have a bunch of time to do nothing. I didn't mention that it's currently 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't have to be ready for van pickup to the airport until 8:15, so got a solid 7 hours to read 130 pages. So I think we can do it. So that's what's going on with me. I will keep you updated when I have something more to say.
I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago.
Hello again. So I'm still here in my hotel room. It is now 6:30. And I did try to take a nap for a little bit, so it took me a little while to finish this, but I did finish The Golden Spoon. I feel like I'm sort of still processing it. It wasn't 5 stars though, so that's a bummer. I did like it, but it just, it wasn't anything that I'm gonna remember a year from now, or probably like a month from now. I had a nice time reading it. I enjoyed reading it, but it's not anything special really. So like I said, this is about a baking competition, and there are 5 contestants. One, Peter, is like a carpenter home renovator kind of guy, and Then there is a woman, Stella, who is a journalist who just started learning to bake. There's Hannah, who is like 21, and Stella, I think she's like in her 30s. Hannah, she's very young. She's like 21, and she's like lives in a small town in the Midwest and like bakes for pies for a diner that she works at. There's Lottie, who is an older woman, and Gerald, he is a math teacher, and he's very particular. He loves numbers and math and like precision. He's kind of socially awkward. And then there's Pradyumna, who is like a tech bro who sold his company, and now he just has lots of money and nothing to do. So those are the contestants. They all have pretty unique personalities, so I thought it was well written in that sense that I never got anybody confused. They're pretty clear personalities from the beginning. It does take a long time to kind of get to the big murder. I mean, it's marketed as a murder mystery, so I don't feel like that's a spoiler, but it does take a while to get there. I mean, it's like probably almost 200 pages in, and it's only 271 pages. So there's a lot of action at the end of the book, which is fine, but you have to know that this is a slow burn. This is not like action-packed, fast-paced, nothing like that. I thought the ending was kind of predictable. If you haven't read a ton of murder mysteries, it might not be. It might be a little more surprising. I think a few years ago I would have thought the ending was shocking, but I've just read too many at this point that I figured it out pretty easily. And then once I figured it out, I was almost like, okay, yeah, we know. You should have figured that out a while ago. Tell me what else. Give me the big twist. It was like I didn't believe that was it. That was the only twist. There's two, I guess, kind of, but yeah. I would say overall this is like a 3.5. I'll probably rate it a 4 on Goodreads. It is kind of funny because it does seem set up for a sequel, which is interesting given how this one ended, but I do think I would read a sequel for sure. I mean, I feel like I'm invested in these characters now, so I would like to read more about them if that was to happen, but I am completely speculating just based on the way this one ended. So yeah, I would say 3.5 or 4 stars. Bummer that it's not a 5, but I'll take it. I still had a good time reading it. Next, I just downloaded the audiobook for Nothing to See Here by Kevin Wilson, and I'm planning to get started with that today, whatever is left of today, that I have time to do some listening, but we'll see. I am currently still stuck in Raleigh until 10 o'clock tonight, and then I'm supposed to fly back to Philly, but we'll see if that happens because legalities, pilots, there's all kind of like certain times you can only be on duty for this long. So I would love to go home tonight, but we'll see. And I will check in once I've read a little bit of Nothing to See Here. So I made it home. After a lot of waiting around, we ended up making it home just about midnight last night. So that was nice. I got home around 12:40 or so. The captain actually did go illegal, so he was supposed to be back by midnight, not like a moment after. And it's what they call blocked in, which means that the parking brake is up on the plane. And he got in at 12:01, so now he's like, gotta go fill out a report with the FAA, and it's this whole thing, but we made it home. That's good news. I did want to talk about the book that I started. I started reading Nothing to See Here by Kevin Wilson. And while I did have the physical book, I ended up getting the audiobook from Scribd. Literally the first time in my entire life that I forgot my Kindle on a trip is when I run out of things to read. So I luckily found that on Scribd, and there was also the regular ebook available. So I did start to read it a bit, and now I'm like halfway through. It's really good. It's just adorable so far. It's like these two friends from high school, they went to boarding school together. One of them is from an extremely wealthy family, and the other is from like nothing, and they live in Tennessee, and the poor girl, her name is Lillian, she ends up getting into this boarding school because she's like a local townie, and I guess the school tries to invite, you know, some of those kids to come even if they don't have money. It's like for the looks, basically, for optics. And they become like weirdly best friends even though they don't have much in common. But then Madison ends up getting into big trouble, and what essentially happens is Madison's father pays off Lillian's mother to take the blame. Says to Madison's mother, I'll give you $10,000 if Lillian takes the blame, because Madison's going to ruin her whole life, and she's like from this fancy family, and basically is like, your kid doesn't have a future anyways, so may as well let her take the fall. Pretty awful. But that's what happens. And then this is like, I don't know, 15 years later or so. No, it can't be. 10 years later, they kind of have like been pen pals, but like physically mailed letters, which is cool. And Madison says, can you come to my house in Tennessee? She's now married to a senator who's like on his third marriage. And basically, her husband Jasper has 2 kids from a previous marriage, these twins, that when they get upset or agitated, they burst into flames. And they want Lillian to essentially be like a governess because they don't know what to do with these kids because their, you know, mother died and they need to find somewhere for them to go. And it's like really funny, really cute. I am just in love with the twins. Their names are Bessie and Roland. And like they're adorable. And this book, yeah, it's super weird, but it's so cute. I'm having a really good time reading it. I only have like an hour and a half left, I think, on the audiobook, so I should finish it today. It's only about 1:30. I have a bar class later, but other than that, I'm just going to be hanging out at home. I did get some book mail I wanted to share. Nothing too crazy. So first I got an ARC copy of I Will Find You by Harlan Coben, which was on my 5-star predictions and is definitely something I'm going to read this month. And I'm really excited about this because I got a finished copy, which is amazing. I love it. But I greatly prefer to physically read a paperback. And so, like, this is much easier for me. I love that I have a finished copy for my shelf, but, like, I can just put that away and read this paperback copy, this art copy now. So I'm pretty excited about that because, I mean, I was planning to read this next anyways. And now I don't have to worry so much about, like, carrying it around. I don't know why. Is that, like, a lazy person thing? Like, I don't like to carry around a hardback? I don't know. I travel a lot, so, I mean, I'm just always conscious of, like, carrying too much because I know everything you bring, you have to tote. So a paperback's much easier. So, yeah, I'm super excited to get that. And then I also got a new book that's coming out in May. And it's called The New Mother by Nora Murphy. And it's like about a mom that moves into, a new mom who is like new in a neighborhood. And then she has like a neighbor who's like trying to be really helpful, but he's kind of like maybe too helpful. So it seems really good, but I just wanted to show because with this, I got perhaps the weirdest promo item I've ever received. A lot of these publishers will send stuff that like kind of goes with the book that's like kind of cute. I have like gotten a little wine tumbler. I've gotten like a shot glass. I've gotten some candles, that kind of stuff that just like goes with the book. I got a plastic plate that has like the tagline and stuff about the book on it. I opened the package and was like, what in the hell? Like, this is so bizarre, but I'm really excited to read the book. This was just like, what? So anyways, that is my update for now. Once I finish Nothing to See Here, I will be back with another update. Hello again. I am sitting on the floor because I just finished filming a video that's going to go up tomorrow. So this is still a vlog, even if my backdrop is what I normally do my sit and chat videos. But I did finish Nothing to See Here last night, and I loved it. It was so cute and sweet, and I just thought it was so unique and great. I almost want to compare it to like The House in the Cerulean Sea, just in the sense that It's like about just lovable weirdos who find each other and make it work. It was so cute and really short. And the audiobook is what I ended up listening to. I think I mentioned that before, but maybe not. And it was really well done. I really enjoyed the narrator, and it was just perfect. Oh, I can't believe I slept on that for so long. It's like 3 or 4 years old, but I'm so happy I finally read it. And I really want to read more books by Kevin Wilson now, because I've read 2 and like was obsessed with both. So it just feels like he knows what I like. I also really love how his books are pretty short. I mean, but they're so unique, and it's like, remember elementary school when you were like writing a story and the teachers were always like, it has to have a beginning, middle, end. That sounds really weird to say, because every book, you know, that's gets published should have that, and does generally. But like, these are so like clear and concise, and beginning, middle, end, and it just is so well done. And like, it doesn't feel like you're being rushed through this story. And in a story like he tends to write, like, you need a lot of detail, but he doesn't make you feel like you're overwhelmed. He doesn't make you feel like you're missing pieces, but he still manages to keep books under 300 pages. I don't know. I think that's a really incredible skill. And yeah, I definitely want to read more from him. I also started the audiobook of Smoke Gets in Your Eyes by Caitlin Doughty. This I'm really enjoying so far. I think I'm only about a third of the way through, but it's a lot about her experiences working in the crematorium and how she came to like have an interest in the death industry and wanted to work in it. It's also a lot about like the history of cremation, the history of like how we treat our dead, because it's so different now than it was millions of years ago. Not millions, but like thousands, I guess, hundreds. It's just taken on such a different way that we cope with it. You know, a lot of it is just stuff I never would have thought of. Like the fact that embalming is really kind of wasteful in, like, at the end of the day, a lot of things about the death industry are like every industry making money that are not even fully necessary. But anyways, it's really interesting. And I love how she's mixed like her own personal stories with history and just like information, but it doesn't feel like she's just like dumping all of this on you. So I really like that, and I'm hoping to finish that probably tomorrow. And I am excited because I'm getting through these books that were on my 5-star prediction list so fast. So hopefully I can get this vlog up soon. I also yesterday started reading I Will Find You by Harlan Coben. And I should have just set aside the whole evening because his books are so hard to put down. I am just loving it. I think I'm like a little under halfway done. And it's so interesting. It's really cool because it's about this guy who was convicted of murdering his son, but he completely maintains his innocence. He's been in prison for 5 years, and he has like just kind of accepted his fate, even though he's like, I know I didn't do this. His sister-in-law, ex-sister-in-law, because he and his wife divorced after his son died, comes to visit him at prison, and he is like, what do you want? Like, he does not want to be aware of anything that's going on the outside. Like, he's just kind of resigned. And his sister-in-law hands him a photograph of a friend of hers on vacation with her family, and in the background is a kid who looks identical to the murdered son, including like a birthmark on his face. So he's like, that's my son. I know that's my son. Because the body of him when he was found murdered was like almost unidentifiable. So then it kind of takes like a couple turns, because there's like that part of the story, and like, is this the kid? Like, is that him? Is he actually alive? And then there's like a whole nother part where it's like, he's like, okay, how can I break out of prison to investigate this? So really cool. I'm really enjoying it. His books are just so good. I'll definitely finish that either tonight or tomorrow, because I have another work trip on Thursday, which is the day after tomorrow. And I'm not bringing a book that I'm almost done with, so I need to finish it today or tomorrow. So I think that is my update for the moment, and I will check back in when I have gotten further or finished those two books. Hello again. Sorry for this weird setup. I am on a layover and my options were a white wall that looks like I'm making an audition tape or the camera facing the bed and it looks like I'm making a porno. So I went with the audition tape. So I wanted to get back and talk about the two other 5-star predictions that I read recently. The first one is I Will Find You by Harlan Coben. I think the end of the day, I would have given it like a 4.5, only because of one tiny thing at the end of the book that annoyed me, but it's not that serious. I still think that it was amazing. So I know I explained a little bit about it, but David is the main character and he is in prison for killing his son, even though he claims he didn't do it, but the evidence seemed pretty unrefutable. And how he breaks out of prison with some help from different people, and it ended up just being a really interesting book. It was so fast paced. There was a twist or a turn on every page, and I definitely didn't see the ending coming. I feel like I say that about lots of thrillers, but I really didn't. It was pretty weird, and it makes sense, but it was a little out of left field, but I really enjoyed it. So, I did give that a 5-star on Goodreads. So we're going to pretend that it was a 5-star. The other book that I finished today was Smoke Gets in Your Eyes. And I loved this because of how much it didn't just cover her memoirs, but additionally, a lot of it was about how different cultures deal with death and how different death rituals. And I think that the thing that I really took away from it is that death doesn't have to be scary and that there's so much worse stuff out there. For example, living a really long time when you're not in good health. Doctors can just prolong your life, but sometimes it's why? Which it sounds really morbid, and I think that's why people don't talk about it. But I found it to be really interesting and just kind of thought-provoking because, I think we all kind of assume that death bad, living good, but it's definitely got pros and cons when it comes to the state of your body and how most people who end up dying of old age are suffering from some level of dementia. I might feel differently when I'm in my 80s and 90s, but I don't want to live with not knowing what anything is around me or anything like that. That's kind of scary. So this was a really enlightening book. I really enjoyed it, and I think that it brought up some really good conversations that people should have. This was a quick read too, so that was a 5-star. So I'm really happy about that. That is my one nonfiction for the month. I might read another, I'm not sure. I did get a couple recently that you saw in my last video. So I do kind of want to read some of those, but I checked off the one. That's all we can ask for. So my last 5-star prediction from that video that I posted was The House of Eve by Sadeka Johnson, but I'm not going to be reading that in this video because it is my book club's pick for March, and our book club doesn't meet until March 25th. Today is the 9th, and I will forget everything that happened in it. Even if I really enjoy it, I will completely forget about it by then. So I'm going to hold off on that until closer to book club. I'll make sure to let you know if it is a 5-star read for me. So with that, I am going to close out this vlog. Thank you so much for watching. I could not be more thankful for all of my subscribers. I still kind of can't believe that I have 350-ish. I can't believe people watch my videos because I have such a good time making them. And again, not to sound all sappy, but I'm just really grateful and feel so lucky that people are interested in what I have to say. So thank you so much for watching. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If this was your first time here and you enjoyed this video, I would love it if you would subscribe. Otherwise, I will see you in the next one.